Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another virtual Wargaming live battle report. Today I have a game of Warhammer Fantasy 6th edition using the Woodland Ambush scenario from the Wood Elf army book between, as one might guess, a 500 point army of Wood Elves and a 1000 point army of Bretonians. This scenario is, in my opinion, kind of stacked towards the Wood Elves. There is significantly more victory points available for them, and the nature of the deployment just significantly favors them, as does the battlefield. So let's go ahead and have a little look at that battlefield. Well, I don't need to walk you through it. It's woods, it's rocks, it is bushes that count as cover, but not as slowing terrain, to give the Bretonians a little bit of a chance. So our Bretonians are forced to deploy in a column down the middle, and then the Wood Elves get to set up anywhere that is 20 inches away. So we've got a big group on one side and a little group on the other. I'm not too sure how this is going to go, but that's fine because this is just for fun games, who cares? So let me go ahead and walk you through the Wood Elf army. Those of you who have watched my previous episodes might recognize this noble. She appeared in my second video, which is probably very bad. I don't know, I haven't watched it. But she has this is a Wood Elf noble with the Bow of Lorraine, an enchanted shield, light armor, and an elven steed, which is decorated as an elk because why not? I have also 10 Glade Guard. This is also the same as the other army, but this is where things get a bit different. Next up, we have a unit of 5 Glade Riders and a unit of 7 War Dancers. I was momentarily tempted to run the same army list, but I chose not to. Partly because War Dancers are really cool and I want to use them, partly because I felt like that would be kind of lame to do. So, let's look at the Bretonian side. So first off, we have 2 units of Knights of the Realm, each accompanied by a Paladin. These 2 Paladins, if anyone has watched my Border Princes campaign, may be familiar to you. I don't remember if both of them make appearances. But our first Paladin is our General, Adam Sanguin. He is equipped with a lance, a shield, warhorse, all the usual, and he has the virtue of noble disdain, which means that 1, his unit is immune to panic checks from being shot at, and 2, he hates everyone who has bows, which I felt was really appropriate for a game against Wood Elves. In the next one, we have Amon Ralat. He is the Battle Standard banner bearer, and he has the Valorous Standard, which, for those not in the know, that gives them 3d6 to discard the highest when making a leadership check. Now obviously, since he is the BSB, this unit doesn't have a standard bearer, but this one does. And I believe... yes, and this unit is running the Banner of Shalons, which means that when it charges, the enemy can't stand and shoot in response. Next up, we have a unit of 20 men-at-arms, a unit of 6 Questing Knights. The Questing Knights also have a magic banner, which is the Twilight Banner. Once per game, they can activate it, and then they ignore all movement penalties or impassable terrain for the rest of the battle, for the rest of that turn. But they can't do it to charge, it has to be for regular moves. So probably what's going to happen is they're going to activate it, and they're just going to book it 16 inches in one direction whenever that comes up. And then finally, we have 2 units of mounted yeomen. I believe that they might be drawn looking like they have bows, but in this instance they don't. They just have their regular shields, and each unit has a musician because we're gonna need it against Wood Elves. So with that out of the way, let's jump into it. The Wood Elves get the first turn because they are the attackers in this scenario, and this scenario still lasts 6 turns like usual ones. So let's get into it. And I say that as soon as I say I'm immediately checking. Okay, yes. Wood Elves don't get a penalty for moving and shooting, so we're just going to book these guys forward. Keep them in the flanks. There we go. And then the Glade Guard are going to move forward 5 inches, because we want to try and get into short range with them so that they get their bonus, their strength bonus. Next up, the War Dancers are going to book it 10 inches forward. And then finally, the Wood Elf Noble is going to swing forward as well. I don't know if I highlighted this. So the Bretonians aren't required to deploy in facing one direction. they can like set up facing outwards and prepared for the ambush. But I decided to, just for like flavor purposes, basically make them deploy like they were in a marching column. And also, I didn't know which side to, like, I don't want to be pointing in, because the Wood Elves can deploy on either side. I would basically be like either committing to mentally going, I'm deploying on this side and make them face it, or I'm deploying on the other side knowing that they're going to be exposed, or trying to split the difference of which way each unit faces. And I just went, I'll just do marching column, I'll let them wheel around and face. So that's the reasoning behind this. It's not a good decision, but it's the decision that I have gone with. So, with that little ramble out of the way, onto the shooting phase. Wood Elf Noble is going to shoot at... Both Loren just shoots 3 times. We're not going to commit her, we're going to commit the Glade Riders first. And they're going to be shooting at the Men-at-Arms. So they are going to be in short range. Yep. So that's going to be hitting on 3s. This is 5 attacks, hit on 3s. They will wound on 4s. The Men-at-Arms have light armor and shield, so that saves on 5s. And that is no damage. That is unfortunate. The Glade Guard next, we're going to commit them into the Knights of the Realm. And they are... Oof, all barely at long range. That's okay. 10 attacks, hit on 4s because we're at long range, wound on 4s, but they save on 2s, so like probably no damage. Oh, 1 damage, cool. So that is 1 dead Knight of the Realm, and this unit is not immune to taking panic checks from taking losses, and every time the Wood Elves make a unit take a panic check, or fail a panic check I should say, they score 50 victory points. So, naturally the Wood Elf Noble is going to try and commit into the Knights of the Realm, and get those extra shots. So, 3 attacks, hit on 2s, save on, wound on 4s, save on 2s, go. That is another one. That is a good start for the Wood Elves. So now we have a panic check for these guys. These guys have the Valorous Standard, so we have to do it like this. And that makes a 9. Which... Yep, that passes. They are fine. No panic today. And that brings us to the Bretonian turn. So let's start with... So obviously there are no charges because no one can see anyone. I don't think anyone can see anyone. Nope, those guys can't. Okay, let's think about this. We're going to wheel our questing knights this way. I'm going to place my finger there. Snap them up there. Oh, also I needed to check. Yeah, they're 8 inches away, so they can march. So they're going to book it forward a bit. We're going to have to scoot these guys forward a little bit. So that's 1.2 that they've already moved. These guys get to go forward, and then it's going to stop right here. So now that our Men-at-Arms have gone forward just a little bit, they're going to also wheel. And they're going to wait for this unit to wheel out of their way. So we're going to start off by... Actually, we're going to start at the front, basically, is what we're going to have to do. And get these guys over here, and then rotate them around. And then I know what's going to happen. Wheel them, scoot them back like this. Oh, I think... No, the mounted yeomen do have bows by default. I am mistaken. My apologies to those of you who are internally screaming at me for my mistake. Alright, so then these guys can scoot forward, and then they can wheel like so. Like that. What about this one? Okay, so we're just going to fully wheel the peasants out. 2.4. They moved 2.4 already, so that's 5. They moved forward 1.2, so they can go like an extra, a little bit forward. Finally, the yeomen over here. 16 inches this way. And now they can shoot at the war dancers. Finally, these guys. Oops. Wheel. That's 3 inches of wheeling up to here. wheel again. Threatening a charge as well. I think they could probably go further forward actually. Yeah, this guys could definitely go like up to there. I'm gonna stop there just so that I'm not cheating, basically. Alright, so that brings us to the shooting phase. These guys, how many can see them? Okay, so he can't, so 3 of them can. It's gonna be 3 attacks. Oh, let me check the range real quick again. Yeah, that's close range. So that is 3 attacks that will hit on, normally it'd be 4s, but they move so it's 5s. Will wound on 4s, no saves, go. Nothing. Then these guys, they're also short. Oh, that's actually very dangerous for them. They're not in outside of charge distance, and I have just discovered this fact. So, 5 attacks. They'll hit on 6s because they have moved, and they're shooting at a skirmishing unit. It'll wound on 5s, and the Wood Elves have saves of 6s. So nothing there. And that is end of Bretonnia, turn 1. Alright. These guys are going to back up 2.5 inches so that they can keep shooting. These guys are going to duck around this unit right here. Not even going to look at that unit. The noble is going to duck into here. And already things are looking very bad for the Bretonians, and the Wood Elves are charging here. I should have done that one first, but whatever, it's fine. And then they have to stand and shoot, which is also hitting on 6s, yep. Alright, so 5 attacks hit on 6s, 4s, and 6s. That fumbling was I forgot that they don't have the penalty for moving and shooting. So I was getting ready to do exactly that before I realized I'm an idiot. So 7 Wood Elves are in combat. And then the shooting phase. Okay, so these guys are facing this way, and that's intentional. I'm going to just try and pick up some men-at-arms with them. The Glade Guard are going to fire on the Knights of the Realm. So it's going to be 10 attacks. Oh wait, are we in short range now? Please tell me we're in short range. Yes. That's unfortunate that they definitely are going to get charged, but whatever. 10 attacks, hit on 3s. Wound on 3s, save on 3s, go. Oh, wow. Okay, so, I do need to randomize this. Oh, I also completely forgot about ward saves for Bretonnia. Whoops. Okay, they didn't make them, so that's fine. For 6-up saves, go. No successes. Okay, so, because the BSB is basically... no, he's not as woundable, is he? And, oh, actually, of those 5 wounds... okay, so we're going to randomly distribute these. On a 1, it hits the BSB. That hits the BSB. That one doesn't, so now it's down to a 3. That one doesn't. That one does. Okay, so these 2 guys are dead. And then the BSB has 2 potential wounds. So 1 definitely gets applied. No, actually 1 doesn't definitely get applied. Okay, so I'm trying to just sort of pass out the difficulties of this here, where 2 attacks wounded the unit, but wouldn't have wounded the battle standard bearer. So what we're going to do is, if it's a 1 or a 2, it's... Alright, then if it's a 1 or a 2... Alright, so only 1 wound goes to the battle standard bearer. Hopefully, the way I resolved that makes sense to you. Basically, I randomized the units, the attacks throughout the unit. Those that didn't hit him automatically result in kills. And then because we have 5 wounds, 2 of which don't count, I basically just rolled dice to see which of those 5 wounds the 2 that he is saving from applied. And I've declared that one of them is one of the ones that went on him. And alright, so with that out of the way, let's see. Noble, It'd be so good to just kill him here. Holy, would that be amazing for them. Yeah, let's go, we're gonna do it. Alright, so 3 attacks, hit on 2s, go, 2 successes. Okay, 1 it hits the standard bearer, 2 it hits the other guy. Okay, so both hit the other guy. That wounds, that saves, that doesn't wound. Okay, no, nothing from that one. That's okay. It was worth a shot. Next up, Glade Riders. We could dump it all into this unit as well and just try and get that guy finished off, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put it all into the men-at-arms. So 5 attacks, hit on 3s, wound on 4s, save on 5s, go, 1 dead men-at-arms. Alright, and then these guys make a leadership check. 1d6 plus 1d6 plus 1d6. That's a 7. Yeah, they're fine. Still, that's a huge swing for the Wood Elves already. Not sure if it's worth potentially losing this Glade Guard unit, but huge swing all the same. Alright, and then, finally, the War Dancers. Okay, so I have to pick which dance for them to do. I'm going to go with Storm of Blades for +1 attack. That's going to bring me up to 21 attacks. I don't think I've ever typed 21 into that thing before, except when I was playing 40k and I would be fishing for my guardsmen having like 36 attacks. But I haven't typed this number in a very long time. So they'll wound on 3s because they have a weapon skill of 6. These guys have shields and a horse. So they'll wound on 3s because they have a strength +1 on the charge. I think is what I was trying to say. And I just forgot. Goodness, that is a massive overkill. We aren't going to overrun, obviously. I want to be moving this way. I don't want to be running further away from the battle. So those guys are just all dead. And now we come to the Bretonian turn. Okay, charges to declare. These guys have line of sight, they can see. I shouldn't have measured that, but whatever. So they're going to charge the Glade Guard, and these guys are going to charge the Glade Guard. The Glade Guard cannot stand and shoot against these guys, but I think they can stand and shoot against these, which is what they're going to do. And then nothing else has any potential... what's it called, the guineas? Any potential charges. So, 4 hits on the standard shoot. On 4-ups, they go into the Paladin. So 1 goes into the Paladin, the other one goes into the Knight. We're going to roll... I'm going to slow roll these, is what we're going to do. Because if the Knight dies, then obviously... This is going to be the armor save. Alright, so the Knight dies here. That leaves just Amon. And that was only 2 attacks. So this is the last 2. You can actually just slow roll these. 2 attacks. Hit on 1s, wound on 4s, save on 4s, go. And Amon is dead. And this prompts a panic check from the Knights of the Realm as well. And they pass, they're fine. But that's actually kind of huge. So these guys go down here. They rotate. They slam into this unit. And then that is as maximized as they're gonna get. Okay. Next up, Men-at-Arms. How are we going to handle this? Because we're going to try and pin down the Glade Riders with questing Knights and Men-at-Arms, and I don't see how that's going to happen anytime soon. We also have to worry about the War Dancers. Okay, what we're going to do. Men-at-Arms. You guys are actually going to wheel like so. 2.4. And then we can move 1.6. And we're literally just going to crawl towards the War Dancers and just try and be ready to tie them up. And then we're going to wheel these guys. I'm going to actually unwheel them real quick, sorry. They have moved to nothing. They go 1.7. Wheel, that's 1.5, so that's like 3.2, up to here. Wheel. And we're going to hold right there And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring these guys around like so. And just sort of try and force the Glade Riders to go down this way. Oh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to actually then go ahead and wheel these guys one last time. Like so. So when the Glade Riders flee this way, they kind of have to flee this way to get away from this. And then we can just bring the Questing Knights around to try and smash through the War Dancers. And we just kind of have to accept the Glade Riders are never going to get killed. If we want to try and win this game as Bretonnia. So, shooting phase. We are down 1 unit. I'm going to dump the entire mounted yeoman into the Glade Riders. If we can get them to panic and flee, that is even better. So it's going to be 5 attacks. We normally hit on 4s, but we move, so we hit on 5s. We wound on 4s, they save on 6s. Go. Nothing. Unfortunate. And that is the only bit of shooting. So, Knights of the Realm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacks. 5 attacks. They'll hit on 4s because Elves have weapon skill 4, Knights have weapon skill 4. They'll wound on 2s because they have lances, and they hit on 7s. It's 2 dead Elves. And then we have Adam Sanguine. Remember, he hates them, so he gets to reroll all of his. I think it's to hits, but I'm not certain, so I'm just going to quickly skim through my book. Yep, reroll any misses when they attack in the first turn of any combat. Okay, cool. So 3 attacks, hit on 3s, rerolling misses, wound on 2s, save on 7s. I think we're probably going to see 3 dead Elves. No, only 2 dead Elves. We got a 1 to wound. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so that is 4 dead Elves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touching. So we get 1 attack back. Not holding on much hope. Didn't even hit. Okay. Combat resolution. We have a rank. We outnumber. We have a banner. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These, Glade Guard, I think, only have weapon skill leadership 8. Yep, so they automatically flee. So they're going 2d6 inches. The Knights pursue 3d6. They go 14. So these guys are gone. And then we go forward 1.5. Hang on. Let me do some quick math. Why did I not put the 1 point? There we go. 12.5. So they can go forward this far. No, I'm stupid. They can go far forward 6.25. So that puts them right there. It's a very unfortunate spot for them to be in. But that's okay. So still a decent start, honestly, for the Bretonians. So Bretonnia, turn to end. And that brings us back to Wood Elves. So, while the Knights of the Realm are exposed... okay, serious thinking time. How likely are our War Dancers to get over there and successfully engage them? Realistically, it will take... We'll have 2 turns. We're gonna go for it. Screw it. 10 inches of movement. And then just fan them out just a little bit so that they look like a skirmishing unit again. Because otherwise they just end up grouped up together. Okay, these guys, as I have established, they basically have to go hard down here. Because if they don't... They're on Elven Steed, so they actually have 18 inches of movement. So we're going to make the full use of that and go all the way down here. And then wheel them and then put them up there. And now our noble. What is our noble going to do? She is going to just loop around behind these guys and do that. Shooting noble into the yeoman. 3 attacks. Hit on 2s, wound on 4s, save on 5s, go. Nothing. She has done nothing so far. That is actually really disappointing. Then the Glade Guard, they're going to shoot at the men-at-arms. because we're fishing for easy hits right now. 5 attacks, hit on 3s, wound on 4s, save on 5s, go. 1 extra dead man at arm. Man at arm? However one would phrase that. Okay, let's see then. Bretonnia turn. No charges to declare. Okay, so what we're going to do is the... .4. Let me quickly measure distance. You know, you're good. Okay, so they can march 2.4, 6 point... No, 5.6. Okay, so we move up 2.9. 8 minus 2.9 minus 2.4. 2.7, divide that by 2, so that's like 1.35 into here. Basically what we're trying to do is trying to close the men at arms in so that if the charge, to try and just pin the war dancers down so the Knight of the Realm can get them. Knights of the Realm can get them. Mounted yeomen, 18 inches this way. Questing knights. Wheel. Okay, so what's important to note here is that this is like not a huge amount of distance to fall back into. So we're gonna move up to here. So we can see with the questing knights real quick. Basically any escape avenue in this direction. So I'm actually gonna wheel these guys. No, they can see basically any escape avenue in that direction. So basically the Dark Blade Riders are going to be forced to go back through. Games of cat and mouse aren't very fun to watch, honestly, it feels like. But that's okay. So these guys are going to have to move out of the thing. Oh, that's 3.5, so that's 7 inches of their movement. We're going to wheel them around. 1.5, so 7. I said 7.5, so that's... I think I just said 7 actually, so 8.5. 8.5, 9, 10 inches, yeah. And then 10, 11.5, so they have 4.5. That makes, yeah. Yes, that's correct, okay. So now they're threatening a charge onto our war dancers. If the war dancers engage the men at arms, they're in danger as well. Alright, so then mounted yeoman firing at Glade Guard again. This is hard. I've not really thought about just how difficult this game is sometimes, but like this is actually genuinely difficult to strategize through on both sides. Because like, yeah, I can play keep away, but for how long, what good does that do me? Like, this is a dangerous fight. This is a dangerous situation all around. This is a bad situation where I can't get a lot of damage done, because if these guys ever connect, they're just dead. Okay, so that guy's dead. And that is end of Bretonnia, turn 3. And we are flying through this game too, goodness. Okay, so what we're gonna do, war dancers this way. Because they're skirmishers, they can double move even when close. And I'm actually totally fine with them getting charged by the mounted yeoman. I don't think that's even a risk, so I'm not going to worry about it. These guys are within range, so they are in danger of being charged. So we're going to go 9 inches straight through the middle. And then we're going to rotate them like so. Oh, whoops. I forgot that I killed one of them. Then finally, our Wood Elf Noble is going to close in. And we're just going to try and eviscerate these mounted yeomen. So these guys, point blank, 4 attacks, hit on 3s, wound on 4s, they save on 5s, go. And then the Noble, same thing. Finally, we've killed one of these guys. that's actually huge for the Wood Elves. It's not enough to cause panic, but like that's okay. Alright, so that's the end of the Wood Elf turn. Okay, how do we play this out from here? Just checking that we can see them. Yeah, we can see them. Okay, do we charge the War Dancers here? I don't think we do. I think we reform the Men-at-Arms on the spot to be facing like so. So this way, these guys would be inclined to hit the flank. These guys are inclined to hit the front, both hitting the front. A mounted yeoman is going to go here because, very simply, whoops, wrong unit. And then we have to wheel them back around. Nope. Wheel them back around. There we go. Alright, this is Unit 6. Unit 6 is 4 wide. Wheel. Slap them here. Alright, so this basically just prevents the Glade Riders getting a charge into the flank of the Men-at-Arms and decimating them. The Questing Knights. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and move these guys like so. So I apologize, so this is a very staggered thought process going on here. There is thoughts going on in my brain. Communicating them is just very difficult right this second. So we're gonna reform these guys. Honestly, we're never gonna wheel them, we're just gonna reform them, and we're just basically, effectively the goal here is we want to make sure that the War Dancer troop can't commit into the Men-at-Arms at all. Because if the Glade Riders don't move, which they will, then the Questing Knights, so if Glade Riders don't move, the Questing Knights hit them, kill them, push through. The War Dancers charge here, that means they're threatened by the Questing Knights. If they win and break the Men-at-Arms, they go fleeing, the Knights of the Realm can crash in. The problem I'm just noticing here is that the War Dancers can go into the Mounted Yeomen, but that's just kind of, we can't avoid that outcome. So, Yeomen. Point blank, we're going to shoot the Wood Elf Noble. 4 attacks, hit on 5s, wound on 5. Oh no, we're not going to do that. She has an enchanted shield. She's way too tanky. We're going to shoot everyone at the Glade Guard instead. And yeah, everyone can see him. So, 4 attacks, hit on 5s, wound on 4s, save on 6s. Go. 1 dead Glade Guard. And that causes a panic check. Which they pass, so they're fine. But another kill also scores victory points for the Bretonians. So that is end of Bretonian turn 4. And this one is rapidly, this game is flying by. It's wild when you don't actually play half the game, how much the game goes quickly. Alright, so the War Dancers, they're going to charge the Mounted Yeomen, obviously. I've realized that's the correct play. The Yeomen are going to, oh, this is actually a really good idea. The Yeomen are going to flee, is what they're going to do. So they're going to go 3 to 6 inches. 6 inches away. That doesn't matter, because that's still far enough that they can't reach. So now the War Dancers just go 5 inches forward. And this creates some problems. This feels like a Bretonian trap successfully executed just about. Okay, so I'm going to quickly reel these guys. A trap I didn't even fully realize I was laying, but has actually successfully worked out. Okay, so the Noble taking the Questing Knights is a really bad idea. The correct decision is, unfortunately, the Glade Riders wheeling like so. Oops. They wheel like this, and then they position themselves like this. Basically, so they're going to redirect the Questing Knights to go zooming off and save the War Dancers from them. War Dancers can then charge the Men-at-Arms. If the Men-at-Arms don't charge them first, which they might, and then just like kill them all, hopefully. Alright, so we've broken a rank here, that's really good. What do we do with the noble? If we kill a questing knight, we break a rank. So we're gonna pile her onto this shoot at the questing knights plan. So 3 attacks, hit on 2s, wound on 4s, save on 2s because they have shields. Nothing. 3 attacks, hit on 4s, wound on 4s, save on 2s. Nothing. Expected outcome. And then Bretonia. Okay, so first things first, yep, questing knights are going to charge the Glade Riders. The Glade Riders are going to take it. They aren't going to stand and shoot because they can't, so wheel these guys, slam them in. Next up, Men-at-Arms. Do we charge the War Dancers? Okay, let's seriously think about this. This is actually a very important question. What happens here? The War Dancers most certainly tear through the Men-at-Arms, but they tear through them less because they don't have the +1 strength. And these guys have spears, but they could just use their hand weapons instead to just buff the... Oh, that's a really good idea, because like 4-up armor saves, statistically they come out okay from this. And they just need to last 1 turn, so the Wood Elf turn results in them overrunning, and then we can Knights of the Realm. Alright, we're gonna do it. YOLO, right? So these guys are gonna get faced. Whoops. I am smacking all the wrong buttons here. Okay, so we're gonna wheel these guys, reform them up into a line. And then the Wood Elves just... Oh, the Wood Elves. The Men-at-Arms just slam forward a little bit. And that's gonna be good enough. Okay, rally checks. Yeomen. I think that's gonna be a failure. I'm gonna double check that real quick. 6 leadership. Outside of range of knights, yep, that's a failure. So 3d6, they go 12 inches towards the edge. So the Bretonians get 1 last chance to try and rally these guys next turn. And if they fail, that's extra victory points for Wood Elves. No shooting, because obviously these guys are running. So we're going to start over here. Glade Guard versus Questing Knights. Questing Knights are going to hit them 6 times. Questing Knights are still only weapon skill 4, so they'll hit on 4s, but they will wound on 2s because they have great weapons. And this is 7s to save. 2 dead Glade Guard. Better than I expected. We make 2 attacks back because we have a horse who follows basically the same chances as us. Oh, I forgot about the Bretonian horses actually. Let me quickly get that sorted. 4s, 4s, 5s. Oh, yep, he never got strike back. They just killed him. From this position, they're not even gonna overrun. They're just gonna hold steady. I think you only have to test to not pursue, not for overrun. Okay, Men-at-Arms. We are using hand weapons, so we are going to... Okay, Wood Elf Dance. Wood Elf Dance. I think we want to kill them really hard this turn. So even though I'm really tempted to do the Ward Save Dance, I'm going to do the Storm of Blades again. So, peasants get 2 attacks. They hit on 4s. No, they hit on 5s. Oh goodness, this is really bad for them. They wound on 4s, and then they get saves on 6s. Nothing. This is 21 attacks. That hit on 3s, that wound on 4s, that save on 4s. Go. 6 wounds. That's 6 dead peasants. Okay. Combat resolution for these guys. Oh, also, no, Wood Elf Noble needs a panic check. Forgot about that. She's fine. Combat resolution. They outnumber. They had 2 ranks. It's worth 3 points. It's -3. They need a 3 to not fail. They have failed. So they go fleeing. Let's see how far they go fleeing. They go fleeing 11 inches, and the war dancers pursue 8. So 11 inches away for this one. 8-inch pursuit. This is a bad outcome for Bretonia, actually, because now what's going to happen is our war dancers are going to charge the men-at-arms, get out of line of sight of those guys. This is turn 5, right? Yep. And Bretonia, turn 5. To be fair, I did say at the beginning that I felt like this was Wood Elf favored, and I am seeing exactly the kind of outcome I would expect. War dancers are going to charge the men-at-arms. Men-at-arms are fleeing again. They go 3 more inches. This is, I believe, going to be, yeah, not even close to enough distance. 10 inches over. These guys die. Are they in range to trigger panic? Maybe, actually. I'm going to have to quickly check the rules again. But I won't be pausing like I normally do because I know that this is going to be so quick. Fleeing friends destroy by charges within 4 inches, not 6. Yep, they're fine. Okay, so that's that part done. And then Wood Elf Noble. She's just going to hang. She's not even going to do anything fancy. She's just going to hang out here. We're just going to swing her around to the side, basically. I'm going to shoot at some questing knights. Going to fish for a little bit more victory points, basically. I mean, we're not going to get them, but we're going to fish. Oh, we killed one. That's pretty good. That's nice. Bretonnia turn. Honestly, there is nothing that we can do in this final turn that is going to be worth any victory points. Wait. Maybe there is. This time I am going to be back in a minute. Alright, I am back. And, 1, I forgot the special rules that give a -1 penalty to leadership for the first 2 turns of the Bretonians, but that's fine. And 2, both players score victory points according to normal rules. So, this means that actually the Bretonian turn matters significantly. So let's see if the guys rally. They don't, so these ones flee off the board. Okay, so what we're going to do here, it's pretty straightforward. We are going to book it with our quest. No, we're going to turn our questing knights to the south. Wheel them to 1.5, and then we're going to go 7. Well, 6.5 inches down. And then these guys are going to wheel like so. Or just a little bit this way, and then wheel like so. And then up this way. I think that's correct. And that ends our game. So let's go ahead and do some victory point calculations, starting with table edges. The thing that I always forget in normal games, but is relevant. So there is 100 victory points for the Bretonians for capturing 1 table edge. There is also going to be 120 points for killing the Glade Guard and the Glade Riders each. So that is a whopping 340 victory points. And now let's calculate how many the Wood Elves earned. So they have killed a Paladin. They have killed 1 unit of Knights of the Realm, the cheaper unit though. They have killed the Men-at-Arms unit, and they have killed both units of Mounted Yeomen. 526 victory points. I think that is safe to say that that is a decisive victory for the Wood Elves. I'm going to quickly double check that with the rulebook, but even if the rulebook disagrees with me, I'm inclined to call that decisive just for the size of the game. Let me quickly do /roll 526 minus 340, 186. Yes, minor victory. Okay, actually it's a minor victory technically for the Wood Elves, just because of the way that size of battle point scores work. If we were looking at warbands. I'm going to quickly check that actually, just to see. For warbands, that would be considered just a victory, actually. Still not a massacre, but a victory. I'm going to take that. I think that was a pretty good game, honestly. Wood Elves really do mess with things a lot. They're so mobile, they're so agile, you can just it is so hard to pin them down with a little army. But despite that, I think I did a decent job setting up some traps, trying to really pincer them in. I'm looking forward to playing with them again, because I have 2 more Wood Elf army games for this set, a Warbands and a Little Lords. I'm looking forward to Little Lords. I have a plan for that one. But if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. There is going to be another video tomorrow. Obviously, it is going to be a Warbands game between Orcs and Goblins and Dark Elves. Let me tell you, trying to pick out this list lineup was really hard, because I'm trying to avoid repeating matchups, and I am trying to avoid putting armies too close to each other in the schedule. And I'm trying to only put each army into each game type once. So when I put that filter on, I had very few candidates that I could put against the Dark Elves. And it got even worse because I wanted to run a Sorceress in them. And so Dwarfs are off the table, High Elves are boring. Heaven forbid I try and also avoid repeating games that I've done significantly in the past. I know I have, Amazons have got one, High Elves have got one, Hordes of Chaos have got one with Dark Elves, so those 3 are also off the table. But Orcs and Goblins have not faced Dark Elves yet on this channel. So that is going to be tomorrow's game, and I hope to see you there. Bye!